Hello everybody, welcome to episode 35 of the MEE-FIT Podcast. Happy New Year to you all. It's the 7th of January as we are recording this, first one of 2026. I'm joined today by one of our coaching team, Marcus, who has been with us now for
seven months.
It's been a good addition to the team. If I don't say so myself, we're very, very pleased. Not your first time on the podcast. We did sit down and do a little one on VO2 max testing and whatnot last year. But today's podcast is going to be more about Marcus himself, backstory, what's brought him to this point, what he enjoys about the job, and just a bit of an introduction into himself. So, yeah. We'll dive in if that's okay with you.
That's okay.
Cool. So let's start with, yourself then, Marcus. Like what first got you into health and fitness generally?
Gosh, probably when I was a kid, just playing football, to be honest. And then you kind of get invested in the other aspects of it. So my mum was massive into fitness when I was little. She went for runs all the time, like 5Ks, 10Ks. So I was like, yeah, I'll come join and just do that. And my sister played football. So again, that was a case of like, oh, I'll go play. And then all of a sudden that kicks on from there. And I really think my childhood helped shape who I am now.
Yeah. Powerful that. We talk about it all the time on the podcast and also with members in terms of being a role model for our members' children or grandchildren or whatever it is. I think about that myself currently, the impact I want to have on my children. So testament to that really, that it's led you down a career path now and a lifelong habit of your own health and fitness, which is cool. So you got mainly into football, and then the gym and fitness was mainly to focus in around that and improvements in your own football ability, would you say?
Yeah, like obviously coming with football, like I'd get better at football, and therefore you'd be recommended to do stuff, or like you got to a certain level where you were almost told to do those things. And it was like, okay, if you want to get to that level, you have to do these things. And then it kind of stuck with me. It was like, okay, well, I want to do those things. I want to invest in who I am, not just for football, but like so I can run better, live long, because even at a young age I kind of you get told do this and you'll feel this way, and do this and you'll feel that way. So I was always kind of like, thankfully had people around me that directed me in the right way. So now I'm kind of in a position where I can do that myself.
Nice. Good, cool. So you still play football now?
Still play football.
And obviously a lot of your training is still focused around that, from what I see anyway.
It's mostly, so I'm like, okay, I can still play. I know I'm only 24, but you never know. You never know when your last game might be. So if I can just keep myself going for as long as I want, I can pick it back up if I am in my 30s, 40s, and without paying the price of not doing those exercises or that conditioning.
Losing that fitness.
Exactly.
Yeah, nice. So I'm presuming then, well, I know, but for the sake of the audience, you obviously at school, college, university, very much health and fitness, sport, exercise orientated. Just run us through that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, even from GCSE level, it was straight away, right, what can I do to get into sport? What can I do to get into sport? So, PE, that was one of the modules I picked at school, and I just focused on that probably more than anything. I ended up coming out with a really good grade for that. I kind of winged everything else. Science, I was okay on that. So
biology links in, doesn't it?
Exactly.
So you sort of maybe get a little bit more. I did anyway. I was most interested in biology outside of the other sciences because I knew it was more relevant to fitness.
Exactly. And so coming out of school, I was like, oh, well, I've got a good grade in PE. I've got a good grade in science. I was going to go into sport coaching. I was going through the whole interview process for that. And then I think this is what really changed it, is the lecturer at the time went, well, haven't you considered sport and exercise science? And then suddenly everything just clicked. And I was like, oh, do you know what? That is actually really down my route. So that's kind of like at college that pushed me. And
did you do that at college?
I did,
and then went and did that at university as well.
And then did the exact same at uni. So that was kind of really a dive, because I love coaching. I do my coaching now, but football coaching was only going to take me down football coaching, whereas the sport and exercise science route really it's almost just opened like thousands of doors. I was like, wow, okay,
nice. Cool. So you did that at university and then a master's degree as well.
Yeah,
come on,
master's.
Sing your own, Let us all know. What? Come on.
Yeah, I was a bit apprehensive, but I decided to go, do you know what?
Yeah.
I can do it. I went to Chester, University of Chester.
Yeah.
I did a master's in sport performance science. So I really wanted to hone in on like, how can you take the human body and that's already good, make it better.
Yeah.
So that was...
Was that again within a footballing context, or was it more generalised fitness, or what was the...
generalised, so we talk about, like, I think the lecturer at the time, he was a professional in, not professional himself in rugby, but like his background was rugby, and so like most of his stuff was rugby based, but we talk about football, we talk about MMA, boxing, even just like horse riding. Like there was such a general overview, and that it gave me insight into other sports and different ways you can enhance the human body to be able to cope with the stresses you put under it, whether that's football or horse riding.
What was your main, for those who are interested, a little bit more nerdier like us ourselves, what was your master's thesis on?
My master's, it was the cognitive, physical and technical effects of small-sided games on amateur footballers.
Okay.
So basically how that worked was we took a small-sided game, so I don't know, 5v5. In this case, it was 6v6. They play a game and we kind of like interview them after and be like, okay, you know, how did that feel in terms of, did it stress you out? Did you feel agitated at any point? Like in terms of the game and your teammates and your opponents, and we looked at goals. So we had cameras looking at the pitch, how many goals they scored, how many touches of the ball, how many passes, just all these different
loads of different metrics.
Metrics, as well as having GPS. So we looked at total distance covered, accelerations, decelerations. It was just a whole broad aspect of the human body under a small-sided game.
Yeah.
And then we flipped it on its head and went, okay, right, here's a game, but we've got 3 goals on each side. We've got lights above the goals. It'll flash between green, orange, red. Green, you get 3 points. Orange, you get 1. Red, -3.
Yeah.
And these would change every 8 seconds.
Okay.
So you're constantly having to make
an
adapt. So you look up and it's green and you go, right, okay, play the ball out that way. Boom, it's suddenly changed. You're now having to turn around, play it out the other way.
Yeah.
So this was to frustrate the players or make it harder. And what we found was it did.
Yeah.
The distance covered was more. The psychological load on players was higher.
Yeah.
They scored less, but that was just because of the way it was. And so actually then that links it to it being harder. They weren't just going for one thing and just put it in the goal, going through the motions, as you would say, through training. So it's like, how can then we take that evidence and now put it into practice? Okay, teams should be adapting that. You shouldn't be doing the same small-sided game. Because I know a lot of teams, I know sometimes you can just go, we'll do a game at the end, lads, do the game at the end.
Yeah.
What is that actually doing for those players?
Yeah.
It's just, okay, it's the same thing as last week. You just go through the motions, Whereas you've got that extra little bit challenge, like, okay, a little bit more to do.
Yeah.
It's constantly, that's what a game's like. No game's ever the same. You're constantly having variables change here, there, everywhere, and you're having to think on your feet. So that's what we want to mimic in training.
Yeah.
That's conditioning that player to then go out on the pitch and perform.
Yeah. Nice. That's cool. Good to hear. Good to hear that. I liked it. Cool. So obviously, the reason we bring that all up, I suppose, is to show that you've got a good knowledge and a good background and training in the field of health, fitness, exercise science.
Yes. Yeah.
So a very knowledgeable coach to bring into the fold, which is one of the main reasons, or one of the things that stood out initially when you applied for the role here was, wow, master's degree, like that straight away. You're like, okay, this person took the time, took the resources to go and learn and educate themselves around the topic of health and fitness, which is something that we looked out for. Yeah, this is a good. My background is in. I've done the master's degree as well, so I was like, I value those things. It's not the be all and end all, I will say. There's lots of other ways to get educated in the field of health and fitness. And with the rest of the team here, who haven't maybe had the same background as what you have, we've done CPD in different ways and educated in different ways. Do you know what I mean? But when someone comes to us and has already got a high level of education, it's always going to give them a little bit of an advantage, we would say. Cool. So one question then, I suppose, off the back of that is, put you on the spot here a little bit, but how do you think your education or what you learn throughout your studies has how does it help you here? We'll come back to your time here a little bit, but just while we're on this topic of education, I wondered if there's anything that you have picked up along the way that particularly benefits you here, or how has your knowledge and education shaped where you're at now with us?
It just, for me, it's allowed me to kind of almost mold into the role that you guys have wanted out of me just so much quicker, like, because then I'm like suddenly like, oh, okay, yeah, no, I remember that, and pulling this, pulling that, and like, it's just information that you've learned. You sometimes don't remember everything, but it just suddenly comes back to you, like, bang, right, okay, and you're in there and you know what you're doing. And I think the education that I've got has really helped do that.
Yeah.
In terms of, I can think on my feet very quickly.
Yeah.
And
comfortable in front of a group.
Exactly. Well, that's it. You know, when you have to sit in front of all the students that a lot of them you don't know, in front of everyone, and then present.
And
when you come here into a small group setting, it's almost, it's like I've done this before 1,000 times. So
nice. Good. Well, we noticed that really quickly. Like straight away, it was quite clear that when you were put in that environment, you were good and worked well with different people. You're quite a quiet person, I would say. So we you know, I always have a slight worries with that with people when their coach is here, because you worry, are they going to be a little bit too shy and timid? Are they, because you do have to control the group a little bit in the nicest possible way that sounds. Like you kind of have to take control of okay, I've got 6 people in front of me, or maybe I've got a larger group class, I've got 12 people in front of me, I need to be in charge of this session.
Manage it.
And sometimes there is a concern if people are quite quiet and quite reserved, that you think, are they going to be able to? But what you've clearly got, what I've seen, is an ability to raise that level to the level it needs to be from a more quiet and more reserved starting point, which is good. Do you know what I mean? It's good. You've got that ability to work with different levels of people, different types of people, different energy. Obviously here, small group PT, the energy is a little bit different than maybe an endurance class or a busier Metcon session. So you've got to be able to like move up and down that spectrum of energy and volume.
Exactly. And that's what's that my experience has really helped with that. So like even at uni, like they would purposely put us in situations like that where you're coaching a group of students that you don't know. Or they'd be put into, so I've done like sports coaching with kids before, and it's like, how do you manage 15 kids?
You don't
like,
do.
You turn around and one of them's on the goalpost swinging. And you're like having to manage all that. So it's definitely really, really helped.
Love it. Cool. So just linking that in with your time here then. Now, it's interesting to mention, and I was glad you reminded me of this, that when you took the job with us last year, that wasn't your first time applying for a role at MEE-FIT.
It wasn't, though.
Just tell people a little bit about that.
So I was at college at this point, and I remember applying. I was like, oh, that'd be great. Yeah. I think at the time what I was thinking was like, oh yeah, I'll do part-time and go to uni and come back. But I think it just wasn't the right fit at the time.
Do you remember when would that have been? Do you remember would it have been 2018 or 2019?
I believe it was between those 2 years.
So from our perspective, it would have been, we were in our old gym.
I remember,
I don't remember you coming in, but obviously I remember interviewing people in that old gym, and we had M, who's still with us now, obviously joined us in the summer of 2018, and it was quite shortly after that we were like, right, we need another coach. So we then started, advertising and getting applications in, and obviously then you applied, and we were looking for someone at that time to come in on more of a full-time basis. That wasn't obviously what you were looking for at that time, so it didn't happen then.
No.
But then 6 years later, you'd gone off, done a master's degree, built a lot of experience, and when you put your hat into the mix for this role, it was almost like not quite a no-brainer, because we needed to meet you again, and you know what I mean. But it was a nice full circle moment that it came back round. So that was last year. So just briefly, what were you doing, sort of work-wise, before coming into the fold here?
Oh gosh, I've worked.
So since finishing your degree,
Since finishing the degree, I've worked all sorts. So I did some one-to-one coaching for a bit. So that was just me on my own. I did football coaching as well. So I worked up at a local football club coaching kids, and then I also worked at a sports performance centre. So that was a case of working with people that were after VO2 max testing, working just kind of in their sport, so more sport-specific training, recovery strategies, fueling strategies for like competitions and stuff. But yeah, that's kind of my background before joining here. It was kind of a bit of a mixed bag. But it's
all very health and fitness orientated, but just in different ways, different audiences.
Well, that's it. It's different kind of like areas, and it's only helped me kind of go, okay, well, I like that aspect of this and that, and it's pulled me and it's made me the coach that I am today. So
nice. So obviously, with you coming here, it was then working with, again, a slightly different audience, really, in the sense of, we work with predominantly clients who are over 40, and especially here, over 50 typically, 40 plus, 50 plus. How was that for you? I mean, did you have a lot of experience working with that demographic prior to being here?
I had some, but it was very limited compared to, say, football or sport-specific training. Yeah. So it was a change, but I think we come back to my education and my experience. It was something that I just needed to pull on. Yeah. You pull deep enough on sport-specific training, what is the basis behind that? Yeah. You're trying to create an athlete that's healthy. Yep. So it's just adaptable to the same general population. Yeah. So the kind of like the principles of training, as you would say,
absolutely, 100%,
are the same. Yeah. It's just 100%. When you go specific for that general person, because we all like to say every person is different. Nobody is the same. Yeah. So yeah, it was just something that I needed to pull on my own knowledge.
Yeah, nice. I think that's bang on, because I think you think, you work with people who are over 40, over 50, like, what does that look like? It doesn't look that different. The training that we do with our clients is not that dissimilar to what I do for myself, exactly. What you probably do for yourself. We have slightly different goals, but, it's not that dissimilar from what you would do with elite athletes.
Exactly.
Maybe a little bit less explosive and a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, there's going to be certain things that are going to be different, but the bulk of the training methodology would be the same. You're going to do similar movement patterns. You're going to try and progressively overload in a similar way.
Exactly, yeah.
Not a lot changes. It's just you might be dealing with a few more injuries and a few more restrictions and some flexibility things that you might not get at an more athletic, younger population,
Exactly. So the only thing that changes for me is the needs analysis. Yeah. Straight away, you look at someone, right, okay, you speak to him. What is it that you need? Yeah. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, nice.
And the training principles are the same for that. You train that person to what they need.
Yeah. Love it. So you've been here 7 months then?
7 months. Yeah.
How have you found it so far?
I've loved it. I loved every session I've done. So yeah, I've loved it, and always constantly looking to how can I make a session better, or how can I be a better coach. So it's that's been my kind of like drive every week or every session. It's just like, how can I further every client's experience here? Because you know what it's like to train yourself, and sometimes as a coach you have to like put yourself in their shoes, because I know how to do all the exercises and do all this and that, but there was a time where I didn't. Yeah. And it's the same with these guys, and you have to be really understanding with that and be like, okay, how am I going to help?
Yeah. I've loved the energy and enthusiasm you've brought, and like, we've had new staff at varying points throughout the year, and I don't think I can remember a time where we've had one where we've heard just as much positive feedback with absolutely nothing negative that I've heard from anybody, unless people are keeping it from me. Which people that we've worked with, we've never had a lot of bad things said about anybody, because we've generally brought on really, really good people. But there's been times where something might have not hit the mark with someone, or do you know what I mean? Someone's style maybe isn't brilliant with certain people or whatnot. That's just life. But I've not heard any of that with you. It's been awesome. We had Carol on the 2025 biggest wins, wasn't it? And biggest enjoyment of the year was you joining the team.
Yeah, so I saw that.
loads and loads of really, really positive feedback, which has been really, really great. And I feel like you've become a really great part of the team very, very quickly, and really embedded yourself into the environment and the culture, which has been awesome, and brought a slightly different knowledge base to us, which we spoke about a little bit earlier, in a sense of, especially around I would say like the more cardiovascular style training, and even something that we're looking to bring in a little bit more, like some more power-based work. So that's been good. What's your kind of thoughts on that side of things? Why did you feel you wanted to try and bring that into the mix here, specifically with our audience?
Just because I just see it as another pillar.
Yeah.
A pillar of your fitness. So your cardiovascular will go hand in hand with your resistance, your strength training.
Yeah.
You look after one, they'll look after each other.
Yeah.
So, if you've got both of them in, they're going to look after each other.
Yeah.
So for me, I was always taught there was kind of 3 or 4 pillars. So you've got your cardiovascular, you've got your strength training, mobility, flexibility, balance training, and then your plyometrics. Depending on who you are, the plyometrics kind of comes down at the bottom, but very important.
Yeah.
It's something that you have when you're young, and then suddenly you stop doing it, and it goes. And it's the same with all the others. The minute you stop doing it, it just goes and it goes and it goes.
For anyone who is listening to this, maybe a client or a non-client who doesn't know what that term means, plyometrics or like power, like just give people a little bit of an insight into what you mean when you say that.
So power, it's just moving with as much speed as you can with weight. So for example, you could take a squat. It's okay, how much weight can I put on my back, but how quickly can I move that? And then obviously you've got your body weight. Can I then move that body weight with enough power to launch myself onto a box?
Yeah.
So that makes it that plyometric movement, the power-based movement. Can I shift something as quick as possible?
Yeah.
And it's something like that we lose as we start to age.
Yeah.
But if we keep it and we keep doing it, it's been linked to longevity. It has, and there's lots of research out there.
When you said that there about it coming at the bottom, I think I don't disagree, but I think it's probably closer than, I don't know, maybe whether it doesn't or it doesn't. I don't know. Maybe it's hard to rank them, but what I'm trying to say is I think it's a more important metric than what a lot of people think it to be. And I personally don't think people do enough of that type of training. I think if you're playing sports and you're doing those types of activities, you're going to be doing that anyway, aren't you? You're going to be accelerating, decelerating, you're going to be jumping, you're going to be landing, you're going to be doing all these more explosive activities. Whereas I think for people who are not exposing themselves to that, like you said, they just stop doing it, and then the ability to generate force quickly does decline, and that has ramifications, especially as we get older.
That's it. It's like having a Ferrari with no engine.
Yeah,
it might look great, but it can't go anywhere.
So you want to build that as part of your training regime. We would say for people who are in their any age, but I would say it becomes increasingly important to train it as you get older. Would you say, because you're less likely to do it in your day-to-day or recreational activities? You
can always start somewhere with it as well. So even if you're just doing it a little bit here and there, it's something. It's better than nothing. But obviously the earlier you started, the better. Yeah. Because then you carry that on. But there's never a great time to start, or just doing even a little bit of it can increase.
What would that look like? What does that look like for clients here? Like, how do we and will we incorporate that more?
I mean, at its simplest, you could do a hop.
Yeah.
I know it sounds silly, but you could do a hop.
Yeah.
Just leaving the floor for a slight second.
Yeah.
It's something. It's just telling those muscles, right, okay, I need to move. I need to move.
Quickly. Yeah.
Fire up, that's it.
What's the scientific term for that?
Stretch shortening cycle.
The stretch shortening cycle.
I was on the spot.
And what I was reading was they call it like rate of force development.
Rate of force
development. You can assess that, can't you?
Yes,
like
of course,
how quickly can you generate power through a certain movement? Yeah. So, which is important.
Like your vertical jump or broad jumps. Yeah. You've got the counter movement jumps where you go from one side straight up. Yeah. There's loads. There's loads of testing.
If we went into the stretch shortening cycle, then it would be getting very sciencey, wouldn't it?
It really would be.
Let's not go down that route.
No.
It's too much. It's too
much. But I think there's loads that our clients could benefit from, and just even take away box jumps and stuff like that, but just even hops, like I was saying, that is something, and then you can progress from there, and then suddenly you're learning to land, you're learning to move a different way, so laterally, forward, backwards movements. These are all movements that suddenly you might find yourself doing. Whether that's going upstairs, going down a stairs, holding something, having to step up to the sides to grab something.
Yeah.
These are all movements that are adaptable to a client's life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so
my thoughts on that always go to, I know it's something that a lot of people don't think about until it's maybe too late, but risk of falls.
Yeah.
And the research shows us that people don't fall as they get older. They're not falling because not always just because of a lack of strength. It's more to do with a lack of power. It's how quickly can their body generate the force to stop them falling or stop them losing balance or stop them hitting whatever. So it's, that's why, yes, strength is important, maintaining muscle mass is important, but it's also important to maintain your body's ability to generate that force quickly.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm keen to do more of that with clients we work with, because people who are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, we're all only getting older. We're all going to deal with that at some point where we need that power and that stability, and training that is only going to help us when that time comes.
Exactly, and it comes back to reaction time and stuff.
Yes,
you can go into stuff like that, But
that's all relevant, isn't it, for everyday life? Like reaction time is really important in loads of things. Yeah. If you're about to fall, your ability to react to that quickly and generate power to stop that or if you're, involved in an accident. There's loads of ways that could be relevant.
It's so adaptable, but it could be the difference between falling or not.
Yeah.
So why not train it?
Slipping on the ice or not.
Gosh,
As we have been dealing with the last few days. And just as a final sciencey point on that, like the research does show us that we lose power quicker than we lose strength.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I'm keen to bring that in and have always wanted to incorporate some of that into the training. What's interesting though, I'm not sure how much you've dealt with this because we've not done a huge amount of it, but how often members will say to us things like they've almost forgotten how to jump.
Yeah.
Because
they haven't
done it. Like you might not have done it since school or PE or whatever, like the last time you played sports or whatever. So it's like people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, maybe even their 70s, are like maybe haven't actually jumped in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years.
Because they've never needed to.
No.
But then when you do suddenly need to.
Yeah. And it's not like you might need to jump, but you might need to use the same body movements and processes as a jump to generate. Do you know what I mean? So we're using a jump as an example of how to train that. Does that make sense?
It's like a movement pattern.
Yes.
It's a movement pattern that they have lost.
Yes.
And so we would like to introduce it back.
Absolutely. So anyone who's listening, be ready for that. But I think it's really, really important. But for us here, it's about how do we implement that it makes sense to clients, how we then educate them to understand the importance of why are we doing this? I think that's always the most important thing with us as a business and working with our members. It's like making sure they are bought into what we're doing and why we're doing it.
Yeah.
So that's an educational piece there in terms of, right, we're going to do a little bit more of this, and this is why it's important, to you to do as part of your overall fitness regime. Incorporating some of this is really important. I know you said you enjoy all of it, and that's what I really like about you. You just clearly love coaching. Like I could just stick you on the gym floor for hours on end, and you would love it, which is great. Any particular highlights so far in your time here? Anything that you've particularly enjoyed? Any events or any moments on the gym floor that spring to mind?
Oh, gosh, I know it sounds funny, but like every week something happens. I'm like, oh, that was amazing. Whether it's a client coming to me and be like, Marcus, I've lost this amount, or look how much muscle mass I've got. Like those are wins to me.
Yeah.
Those are massive wins. But I look back at Merry Liftmas, I look back at the Summer Games and stuff like that. Like just having that community together, that means a lot. And just even hearing people like for endurance go, I really enjoyed that session. It was tough.
Yeah.
I hate it, but I love it.
I love it.
And it makes me like, yeah, right, okay. Because then it feedbacks to me, or like, even when I didn't quite enjoy that one, but I enjoyed that aspect of it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I can take that out and put that in somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so, I see these little wins here and there. But I definitely love like the community vibe that we get when we do these events. So definitely look back at those and massive wins.
Love it. Cool. So just final thoughts then, I suppose. What would be interesting to get your thoughts on or opinion on would be, which is a sort of question I usually ask at the end of these things to most people, whether that's client or coach. What would your bit of advice to anyone be who is unsure about making a start? And I'm not just talking about at MEE-FIT, I'm talking generally speaking. Making a change to their health and fitness. Why should someone do that? It's a big question.
It's a big question. I'm going to try and get it right. See it as an investment. See it as an investment into you. Like, you would invest into your pension, so why not invest into yourself? Because over time, you want to enjoy your life with that pension, don't you? So why not start investing in yourself so you can enjoy that pension, enjoy that with your family, your grandkids, even if you're not at that age, like, just enjoy your life. Like, for me, it's like, I want to go for a run and feel great. I want to go see things. I want to be able to climb up. I don't know, you could be climbing up anything. But I want to get to the top, and I want to know, I've seen that view because I could get up there. And I know that's the same with a lot of other people. Just invest in yourself.
Love it. A very MEE-FIT answer, if I don't say so.
I love a fitness.
Yeah. Love it. Cool. Well, we're gonna wrap up there, Marcus. Thank you very much for your time. I hope everyone listening has enjoyed getting to know Marcus a little bit better and hearing his journey up until this point. But yeah, I will reiterate again, mate. Honestly, it's been a great addition to the team. I couldn't have been more pleased with the fact that you took we offered you the role and you took it, because it's been great. You've brought loads of different ideas and things to the table, which has been good and just further improved what we do. And that's the thing for us, like, whenever we bring someone on, we want it to then elevate the team and the rest of the team. Everyone rises together, do you know what I mean? And that's definitely what you've done. So thank you for that. And thank you all very much for listening. Anyone who did, we will see you in episode 36.